and welcome back to my channel. I'm Liam. Another positive round. That's 3 weeks in a row I've dropped in the rankings after a terrible start to the year. 2148, highest score of the year, round rank of 7,400, and I moved from 8,800 to inside the top 8.2k. Four figures looks so much better than 5 than what it has been inside the top 10k. But I was pretty happy with my team this week. A few disappointing premium scores, but overall some monster scores from a couple of guns helped me get a pretty nice score for the week. Didn't actually start off very well on the Thursday night. Had an awful start. Starting with Tommy Stewart, 51. Just his matchup on Cameron didn't suit a fantasy scoring game. He was on 8 at half time, and when he went off, Cameron scored 40 odd in the second half. There's nothing to worry about there. Just hopefully he doesn't get a lockdown role. Again, Geelong lost, so probably won't. But hopefully for us fantasy coaches, he doesn't need to do that. Whitfield, Gunn, toying with Laird to probably be D1. He's back after his long layoff with his liver injury. 123, he was just everywhere. Racks it up. Loves a +6, like most GWS players do. They did lose, which was surprising in the end, but that doesn't matter. In the fantasy game, very happy with his score. Short was impressive again, back-to-back tons. 104. A lot of people do have him, but it's always nice to see 3 figures on a player's score. Harms, I still like his role. I was a bit worried with Viney back that he might just be shoved straight forward. Probably did play a little bit of forward, but still had plenty of time in the midfield to rack up 80. It's between him, Ridley, or Haynes, who I get rid of for a premium mid. They keep scoring similar scores, so it'll be hard to choose in the coming weeks. But Ridley, a handy 90. I feel like his role's much better than a month ago, taking a little bit more kick-outs, a few more cheap +6s in the back line. If he can continue 90, he'll stay in my team. But it's good to have the option of Laird in the mid to bring up in defence if one of my defenders get injured or drop a bit of form. Haynes, I brought in this week for Markov. Netted me 20 points, and Haynes also made 40k, so pretty pleased with that move this week. Highmore, very solid on the 62. Hopefully he can make another 50 to 100k so I can utilise another upgrade. I feel like I'm an upgrade behind a few people, so a few bench scores did alright this week to help with cash generation. McRae, slow start, but finished strong. Another 30 possession game, another ton. He just keeps on going. He was probably a safe captain this week, but I decided to risk it with Taranto. He started well, but faded. Finished 95. Bit disappointing when you've got a few. I got a 139, the 150 in your team that you didn't captain them, but can't nail the captaincy each week. But it wasn't the worst case score. Hopefully he can bounce back. Mitchell, 139, was everywhere. He's back to big days. It's back to back 125 pluses. Pretty pleased with that. I was a bit worried that De Boer might go to him, but he went nowhere near him for the game. Merritt was just on his lonesome. Hadn't started on the wing for a fair few centre bounces. I don't know if they were just trying to avoid a tag or what, but he just picked it up. A lot of +6s. He had 26 possessions at half time. Ridiculous. Makes up for a couple of his poor scores that he made throughout the year. and I feel like not the most. He's not a McRae type ownership at the top end, because I feel like he hasn't averaged overly well in the first 13 weeks for what he was priced at. So some of the top guys might not have him in their teams, which is handy to move up the ranks, especially where I am at the moment. Laird, Guns, he was on 80 at half time, slowed a bit after getting a bit of attention, and Carlton dominating that last part of the game. But we take 115. Hopefully I can move him back soon to bring in another gun mid, which I feel like I'm lacking with the likes of Miller and Parrish and Bontempelli, Jack Steele, all going 120s. Losing about 30 points with that, but his Laird has been a great pick all year. But again, his score doesn't overly matter in the end. 99% of people above me have him, so not the biggest influence. McCluggage, again, Thursday night was very disappointing. Just couldn't get near it in the first half like Stewart. I was first half time. McCluggage was on 20. Stewart was on 8. Two premiums combining for 30 at half time wasn't didn't bring a smile to my face. But hopefully he can bounce back. Neil does affect him a little bit, I feel, not playing as much in the midfield. But Brisbane have a nice run home, so hopefully he can get that 100, 105 and maybe trade it out at the back end of the season, if possible. Crouch was worried, had a shocking start. It was 30 odd at the half. I was like, oh, I've stuffed up another player. But if you watch his last 2 minutes of this game, it was piggish. Had a hold in the ball, 2 plus 6 as a handball. We had 22 points in the last 2 minutes of this game to get to 104. It was pretty nice to watch after him struggling for the first 3.5 quarters. Played a little bit more forward than my liking, but still turned up, which is great. Robertson, I can't complain about a 67 from a rookie. Keeps making me a little bit more cash. And hopefully he's probably going to be my last rookie upgrade with the likes of possibly Briggs, if he holds this spot, might be that. But it's, if you have 67 from a rookie, just take and run. Gorney, 97. Again, a lot of players had slow starts this weekend. 34 points in the last quarter saved it a bit when the game got a bit tense at the end. He steps up in those moments. A lot of hit outs, but just couldn't get have a lot of possessions around the ground. Struggled to get his hands on the ball, and didn't lay as many tackles as he usually does. But he'll be top 2 ruck at the end of the year. So, and most people do have him. So his score doesn't overly impact. Flynn, I want to get rid of him to Grundy as soon as possible. I just don't have any cash flow to get him there. But 63 was a very handy outcome again from a rookie. He had a very good start. You preferably want 90s, but he is a rookie at the end of the day. And anything over 60 is great. Hall, another one with a really slow start. Not the best VC option in the end. I think I need to learn that Tassie is not suited overly to his game style, especially windy. It wasn't wet this time, but windy conditions. Struggled early. Plus the ball didn't go down there very often, to be fair. North had doubled their inside 50s for the game. So he did well to get to 88 in the end. Hopefully he can bounce back. I think you prefer to play him against the harder sides when he's taking more kick-outs and more plus 6s in the back pocket. Kelly, 97, just solid game from him. Zeeble, 78. A little disappointing, but hold the ball wasn't down there overly much during the game. Cole Langford was a good trade-in a couple of weeks ago. has a very nice role, midfield wing role, and Essendon do like to chip it about on that wing. Melbourne seem to love to give up those little cheap kicks in the back line. So just something to be wary of. Teams playing Melbourne. Heaney got to 61 in the end. Well, I want to get rid of him as soon as possible. This player, he was Phillips. I went Phillips to Heaney. This, it's just a nightmare. I think they've averaged about 60 odd for a 500k price plus a waste of a trade. What can you do? I'm tempted to go stringer next week, but I feel like it's just too straight swappy. And want to probably rather aim to try and get Grundy as soon as possible. And Briggs 60 again, rookie, pretty good. Take that and run. Bench, Bianco, Newcomb, nice scores to start a bit of cash flow. Treacy, a bit disappointing. He might go soon. 27 halts his cash a bit. And Madden, a bit disappointing. Hopefully he can hold his spot, but his cash flow is pretty much being halted with that 32. So yeah, hope everyone also had a decent week. I'll catch you tomorrow with a trade talk for the upcoming round 16. And till then, have a good one.